He gave us 138 goals. He wore the shirt from the age of 7. And now today, it is finally, definitively, heartbreakingly over. Marcus Rashford will not be a permanent Barcelona player this summer. And Manchester United, they are about to move on completely. But that is not even half of what is happening right now at this football club. Because while the Rashford chapter closes, an absolutely enormous transfer window is opening. And we have exclusive details, breaking updates, and some genuinely stunning news about the players who could be pulling on that red shirt next season. This is United Voice. Stay right there, because this one is massive. Let's start where everyone's heart is. Let's start with Rashford. You remember the exile, the fallout with Ruben Amorim, the training ground freeze-out. Marcus Rashford, a boy who grew up dreaming of Old Trafford, publicly pushed out the door of his own club. It was brutal to watch. He landed at Barcelona. And you know what? He was brilliant. 14 goals, 14 assists. He played a major role as Hansi Flick's side retained La Liga, pipping Real Madrid to the title. He scored in the Champions League. He looked reborn. He looked free. He looked like the player we always knew was in there. Barcelona had an option to sign him permanently for just £26 million. 26 million. For a player of that quality, that was a bargain. And for months, we waited, we watched, we hoped. Some of us hoped he'd go, some of us hoped he'd come back. And then the answer came. According to Fabrizio Romano, it is, in their words, over. Barcelona have decided not to trigger the buy option. The arrival of Anthony Gordon from Newcastle for around £70 million has effectively ended Rashford's dream of staying in Catalonia. Think about that for a second. Rashford scored 14 and assisted 14. He helped them win the league, and they still won't pay £26 million for him. That tells you everything about Barcelona's financial situation, but it also says something deeply painful about how football views Marcus Rashford at this stage of his career. Now, Rashford himself has been clear publicly. He wanted to stay. He told ESPN he felt at home. He said being part of their future would be special. He agreed a 5-year contract with the club according to Mundo Deportivo. His agent Arturo Canales sat with sporting director Deco. They mapped it all out, but Barcelona also reportedly tried to pay only £13 million, half the agreed fee. And United said absolutely not. Ineos are standing firm on the £26 million clause. And with Barcelona now signing Gordon instead, Rashford is in a genuinely strange position. He's not coming back to Old Trafford. That bridge has been burned. He's not staying at Barca. So where does he go? There's talk of other Premier League clubs. There are whispers of a return to England. At 28 years old, with that kind of season behind him in Spain, somebody will come in for him. But for us as United fans, this is the real goodbye. There's no way back. And honestly, after everything, maybe that's right. The story between Rashford and Manchester United ended long before he boarded that flight to Barcelona. Today just makes it permanent. We wish him well. We really do. Now let's talk about who's coming in. Because the midfield rebuild that this club so desperately needs is actually starting to happen. And it is moving faster than most people realise. Let's start with the name that has been buzzing around for weeks now. Elliot Anderson, because this is the one. This is the name that keeps coming up again and again in every credible source, every reliable journalist. United Voice has been tracking this story for months, and today things have taken a dramatic new twist. Elliot Anderson, the Nottingham Forest midfielder who Sir Jim Ratcliffe personally wants at Old Trafford. According to the Mirror and Team Talk, Ineos are willing to meet whatever wage demands Anderson has. He currently earns £100,000 per week and a 50% rise is anticipated. Ratcliffe is willing to pay it. But here's where reality bites. Forest wants somewhere between £100 million and £125 million for Anderson. United have made clear they will not go to £120 million. Their own BBC sources say that price is simply too high, and there's a further complication. Manchester City made the first move. Their initial bid was rejected, but they are expected to come back. With Elliot Anderson heading to the World Cup this summer and City pushing hard, United look like they may be losing this battle before it even begins properly. Anderson is a brilliant player, box to box, technically excellent, only 23 years old. But at £120 million in a summer where United are already spending on Ederson, potentially Tonali, and potentially Fernandes, the numbers simply do not add up. This one may have already quietly passed United by. But Anderson is not the only midfielder on the radar, not even close. Keep watching, because there's more on the midfield story, and it connects directly to the next name on our list. Let me take you to West Ham, a club that desperately needs to raise funds, and a club that is sitting on a player that half of Europe wants. Mateus Fernandes, 21 years old, Portuguese, and rapidly becoming one of the most talked about young midfielders on the continent. Sky Sports have now confirmed that Manchester United are exploring a deal for Fernandes. West Ham value him at around £80 million. United have already been in contact with his representatives, and here's the detail that will interest you. Fernandes is reportedly extremely keen on the move. He plays with Bruno Fernandes for Portugal. He idolises him. The idea of linking up with his compatriot at Old Trafford is something that genuinely excites him. According to multiple reports, his agents are confident, their word, confident, that he ends up at United. Now there is one very significant obstacle here, and Manchester Evening News reporter Tyrone Marshall has been honest about it. He said, and I'm paraphrasing, that the interest is strong, that Fernandes is probably the most likely next signing, but that West Ham's asking price is a serious problem. There's been talk of £85 million this morning, and Tyrone was very clear that is just not going to happen. That fee would need to come down significantly, and he raised the point that has to be made. Fernandes has back-to-back Premier League relegations on his CV. West Ham signed him for £38 million just last summer, paying £85 million for a player who has just gone down twice in 2 years. That requires a serious conversation. But here's the counter-argument. None of that is Fernandes' fault. This is a 21-year-old who has shone in a broken team. He has already broken into the full Portugal squad. He is heading to the World Cup this summer. His stock is only going up. And because West Ham are now in the Championship, their negotiating power has collapsed. The number that seemed impossible 6 months ago is now very much negotiable. Expect this one to move fast. Before the World Cup ends, we could be very close on Matheus Fernandes. And now, the exclusive. The one that dropped this morning that nobody was really expecting. Carlos Baleba, the Brighton midfielder, has been discussing the possibility of joining Manchester United, and he has been having those conversations with United players directly. That is according to Sunsport, who have revealed this exclusively today. Now, for those who need the full context, Baleba has been a United target for over a year. Fabrizio Romano himself confirmed that Baleba agreed personal terms with Manchester United all the way back in August 2025. That agreement is reportedly still valid. The player wants to come. He has wanted to come for a long time. He is Cameroonian, 22 years old, physical, dynamic, and genuinely one of the most exciting young midfielders in the country when he's playing well. The problem has always been Brighton's asking price. Last summer they wanted anywhere between £85 million and £115 million, depending on who you asked. That was never going to happen. United walked away. But the landscape has changed. According to Romano, Baleba's value has dropped significantly since then. The expectation now is that a deal could be done for considerably less than those summer 2025 figures. Brighton are more open to selling. And the fact that Baleba is now actively talking to United players, not agents, not intermediaries, players, tells you exactly where his head is. Now, I do want to be transparent with you. The Sun reported last month that United had moved on from Baleba entirely. But that was contradicted by journalists like Alex Crook, who told TalkSport that United still see the potential and are still interested. And today's story about him talking to players, that is very much a live situation. Here's what I think is happening. United are pursuing multiple midfield targets simultaneously, as they should be, and Baleba is still on that list. If the Tonali or Fernandes deals hit complications, Baleba becomes the next in line. He has the personal terms already agreed. He has the desire. The fee now just needs to fall into a range that works. And finally, Adam Wharton. Crystal Palace have set a £100 million price tag on their midfielder. United have been linked, but let's be honest about this one. With Tonali, Fernandes, Baleba and Anderson all swirling around, Wharton feels like a backup option for a backup option. A name in the mix rather than a priority. Crystal Palace at £100 million for a player United were never that invested in. That one feels like it goes nowhere fast. So, let's bring it all together, because this summer is genuinely shaping up to be transformative for this football club. The Rashford era, truly, finally over. No permanent Barcelona deal. No return to Old Trafford. A chapter closed. Ederson already done. Matheus Fernandes being actively explored, with his agents confident of a deal once West Ham's fee comes down. And Carlos Baleba already agreeing personal terms last summer, now talking to United players about coming in. That is a midfield rebuild of genuine ambition. That is Ineos finally, spending with purpose and direction. Michael Carrick has his project. He has the Champions League carrot to dangle. He has a squad that already beat expectations last season. And now, if he gets his midfield targets right, the 2026 to 2027 season could look very different from anything we've seen in recent years. There is a real energy building here, a real sense that the pieces are starting to fall into place. We are united. We never stop believing. Right, that is your full transfer breakdown for today, the 10th of June 2026. If you made it this far, you're a proper United fan, and I respect you massively for it. Drop a comment below. Which of these signings excites you most? Is it Tonali? Is it Fernandes? Or are you still thinking about Rashford? Let me know what you think. If you're not already subscribed to United Voice, hit that subscribe button right now. We are the channel that keeps you ahead of every transfer, every story, every twist and turn. No fluff, no clickbait, just real United news, analysed properly every single day. And if this video gave you value, smash that like button. It takes 2 seconds, and it genuinely helps us bring you more of this content. United Voice, always red. See you in the next one.